Hey guys, welcome back. Been a while since I made a video on Ethyl here, my 1985 GMC half-ton, but I haven't had much to take video of in this past year. It's been a busy year for the family. We had a lot of things going on, and I've been steady thinking about this truck and what I wanted to do to it, and things are finally starting to clear up a little bit, and I think I can devote some time to it. I want to take you guys along for the ride. First thing I want to do though is show you why I'm so interested in this truck. What makes it special to me and different from all the other square bodies that are out there. Let's take a look. Alright, first thing we're going to do, start here in the back corner. What really caught my eye about Ethyl in the beginning, and please disregard all the metal scrap in the back, has been the straight body. Take a look at that body line. For a 1985 truck, that's pretty good. Still got all the original paint. Of course, it's faded from sitting in the Arizona sun. That's alright. Also, the lack of rust is really what caught my eye on this rig. Let's take a look here. Look at that, no rust at all. Usually on these square bodies, you see these quarter panels, these fender wells are just completely shot. In fact, there's still even some of the protective rubberized coating on there. Okay. Let's see. Zero rust whatsoever. This thing could not be in any better shape as far as rust is concerned. Okay, I'll get you in to take a look at the inside here in a minute. Got a little bit of a surface patina up here. I'm okay with that. Zero rot. Okay. No big dents. Okay. My front fenders all looking really super solid here. I feel like this truck has got some really good bones. Okay. Now this bumper, I put that on. When I got her, she didn't have a front bumper, so I went over to a junkyard and found one. And I put that one on, a little off camera. Looks good. Hopefully that keeps the HOA a little bit at bay. I know they don't like her sitting here. Oh well. Now when we did pull this thing out, we bumped into it with the frame of another rolling truck, and I took out them headlights. Boy, that was a little irritating. But it's my fault. Luckily, if you walk around a junkyard, you trip over 5 of these things, so getting a new one shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, the hood from the camera probably looks like it's all rusty and rotted, but it's not. It's got a little bit of a surface rust on there, but that's going to play exactly into what I want out of this truck anyways. My goal is to polish out this paint, seal it up with a clear coat, have a nice looking patinaed hot rod truck. Let's come around some more. Okay, now on this side, looking at it, the body looks really straight, but the more I've stared at it, the more I think it might have had some damage, because it looks like it's taken a little bit of body work in here. You notice in this general area, looks like it's got some new primer on there. I hit it with a magnet. I didn't notice any Bondo in there. It looks like somebody tried to start cleaning it up. You see how the black fades away from the door panel into this fender. So somebody was playing with it, but I can tell it's the original fender just based on nobody ever got the pinstriping off of it there. And it's still got the right markings. Okay. Not a deal breaker for me. Coming around to this side. My floorboard here's got a little bit of damage, but I think I can make a new one, a new piece for that out of aluminum. get in here, look, looks like must have run over a curb and got that one curled up. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Same thing, 2 gas tanks on this truck. Very cool. And for what I want out of it, I'm gonna need the capacity of both tanks. Ultimate goal for this is to have a nice, reliable daily tow rig that I can pull my Corvette to and from race week on. Okay, and again, no rust. Would you take a look at this? Tell me that isn't amazing. Coming around over here. That's even still got some shine on her. Okay. Rear bumper. Rear deck. And again, you can disregard all the trash back here. This is turned into my makeshift scrap metal bin since she's been in the driveway. Alright, let's go look at the interior. Okay. She's seen some better days, but overall, this is not bad at all. Door panel. Non-existent lower card here. That's alright. I think that's sitting up on the dash. Okay. This will clean up at least. It's not going to look perfect, but it should be alright. Got my... Okay. Don't need that. Alright. Our Halloween skeleton has now turned into a Christmas skeleton. Has now turned into a year-round ornament. Got a little bit of rust peeking through in there, but it's still very, very solid. That is not a concern to me whatsoever. Okay. The rest of these rockers. They are beautiful. Absolutely no rust. Okay. Let's take a look at the seat. The seat's in great shape. I don't know that this is the original seat for this truck. If it is, it's been recovered. Take a look at this. Got the Chevy logo on there. Still got the blue stitching. Just needs a little bit of armor all. Okay, skeleton. You go that way. Back here. Looks like got the original speakers. Still got the thingamagoo for the jack. And you can see the seat's actually not connected. That's alright. Tip. Let's get in and take a look. Alright. Gotta find a way to hold my camera. Alright, so looks like my mirror came down. No biggie. And the case with all square bodies, you can see somebody cut the hole for the radio. That's too bad. But here's one thing that really jumped out at me. Look at this dash. Can you see what great shape that dash is in? Yeah, it's got a little split here and there, but overall, it's in wonderful condition. It's gonna be real nice if I put a little, maybe one of those plastic caps on. Now, I don't have a whole lot of experience working on the squares, but one thing I do know is that this switch for your fuel tank is notorious for going bad on you. So we're gonna have to pay special attention to that once we get this thing running. Hey, what are you? What are you? There. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Now, the truck says that it has 28,235 miles on it. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's going to be closer to 128, maybe even 228. You know, I think 128. It's in such good shape. It's showing its age. 128 is pretty good. Got all my knobs. Everything here in good shape. There's that door switch I was just saying. Yep. Okay, crumbling in my hands. That'll work. Let's take a look at this headliner. Yeah, oh. Yeah, she's a little crispy. That's okay, okay. Yep, I'll leave that. What are you doing? You lost your head. Okay. Yep. All right, that's good. Now, let me tell you my order of operations on this truck. Well, first off, I don't have a title for her. Okay. Now, it's not impossible to get a title, but there is a process to it. And step one is I have to get it to the DMV. They're gonna have to put it on a lift, and they're gonna have to verify the VIN number on the frame. Now, before I can get to step one, I can get this thing running because it has to drive onto that lift. All right, and I don't want to invest $1 into this truck more than I have to before I know that I'm able to get a title for it. So the first trick that we have is going to be a budget project to get this thing running. Okay. And here's the way I think it needs to go. First, I have yet to even put a socket onto the crank to know if this engine's locked up. Check to see if the engine's rotating. If it is, we're gonna pull them plugs out and we're gonna crank it over a little bit, because I don't know what is in these cylinders. Who knows? They could be filled with water, they could be filled with oil, and the last thing I want to do is hydraulic a motor that I'm trying to get running. Okay. After that, my distributor and plug wires. Now, it had a distributor in it when I got it, but I stole that distributor out of it before I left for race week because I knew that it would fit in the small block in my Corvette, and I didn't want to be caught high and dry on the side of the road without a distributor if mine went out. So that is in the house. I'll either put the old one back in or we'll run to AutoZone and just grab a new one real quick. But distributor. Next, I'm going to need a battery. Okay. For the time being, I can pull a battery out of the Vet. I can pull it out of the Firebird. She'll be a loaner. The alternator is another one that I took to get ready for race week. And I got that one sitting on the shelf in the garage, so we'll get her back out. We'll put her back on. Okay, the radiator. This is a big one. So this truck actually didn't have a radiator in it when I got it. The hoses are still there. And, yeah. However, I do have a radiator in my Firebird. And I have a brand new radiator that we got to replace it. There was nothing really wrong with it, but it seemed like it was getting a little bit warm in this Arizona heat, and we decided, you know what, let's just put a nice aluminum one in the Firebird. So I'm going to pull the old one out, which is specifically for the old Pontiac 400 motor. So I think it ought to do this little mousetrap pretty good. So we'll throw that one in. Next one, my gas tank smells like varnish from down the street. So I have got to get at least one of the tanks emptied out, cleaned out, so I can get some good fuel running to it. As crispy as everything else is, this is going to mean that I'm going to need some fuel line and a good filter. Okay. All this is not necessarily in this order, by the way. Have to change the oil, put a filter on it. There's no dipstick in this motor. What's up with that? Brakes, yeah, we'll get to that. Carburetor. Might have not spelled that right. I don't know. So it looks like it's got a quadra-junk on there right now. And I don't know. We'll see. It's not locked up. Once we start putting some gas in there, we'll see if it works. If it does, great, we'll use it. If not, I have probably got 20 carbs sitting on the shelf that I can throw any one of those on there and at least eliminate the headache of having to get that one brought back around. And then the last one here, and I don't know if I necessarily need to do this to getting it run into the DMV, but the smog pump. I'm not worried about emissions for this truck because it will have classic car insurance eventually, and in the state of Arizona you don't need to do emissions on classic cars. So I can pull her off if I need to. But right now, if you know what the old smog pumps look like, there's an enormous hose going down to my exhaust that I'm gonna have to plug off. So either hook it up or take it completely off. Again, I just want to hear this thing running and get her moving under her own power. So we'll see. This list is either gonna grow or shrink. We'll see. Hopefully, if everything lines up, that's all it's gonna take to get her running. And if you got any comments, if there's anything you think that I should add to that list, let me know. If you noticed on the walk around the tires were severely dry rotted, don't worry, we'll take care of that. And by take care of that, I mean drive it to the DMV slowly with dry rotted tires. All right, let's take a look at the motor. Here we are. The motor that came in this half-ton is a 305. You can tell because if you look at the tag right here and it says 5 liter, you know that that is a 305. Now the motor's been picked through, some pieces have been stolen off of it. Like I said, the distributor's gone, the alternator's gone. There's no radiator in here, and there's certainly no battery. And I did find one little bit of rust in here, and I'm going to show you where it's at. It's directly under the battery tray. Let's get you in here for this. Look at that. Probably from some battery acid boiling over, rotting it out. Pretty typical on these old trucks. If that's the worst I got on this whole thing, I'm doing pretty good. You see? You're still in there? All right. So, again, the alternator has been pulled off. Got some spider webs. Take that off of there. Carburetor. See, it's not locked up, so that's good. We'll see what we can do with it. I don't know. Lots of little vacuum lines here and there are all pulled off and disconnected, so we'll see. We'll see what it's going to take to get her brought back around. Distributor's not on there. About half the plug wires are on, half are off, so that's going to be, it's going to take me a few minutes to get those rerouted. Does have factory air on it. Hey, if it works, it works. If not, well, no biggie. Now my ultimate goal is to probably fit this with a new engine. I have a LS, I have a 5.3 liter LS that's been bored out 30 over, make a stroker out of it, sitting over at a machine shop. And I don't really have that thing earmarked for any specific project other than this. I think that taking out this 305, putting a modern LS in there with a nice beefy transmission, maybe a 4L80E, would definitely turn this into a good towing rig for me. And it would make it nice and reliable as well. So, we'll see. The smog pump down in there, see, you know, it's got to go. And again, the radiator coming out of the Firebird, I'm going to put that in there, and it ought to be more than enough to handle the capacity of it. So overall, I don't have a whole lot of money to invest at this point in it to get it running, which is my goal. Again, until I can get a title in hand, I don't want to soak a single dollar into this more than what I have to. So we'll do some videos as we bring it back around, maybe a couple of real short ones, and you know, we'll see. Got that, you know, that's right about there. Done. Yeah, pretty excited. Oh, it's got the original jack on it still too. How about that? That's great. Well, and then one more thing I want to show you guys. All tucked in nice and low behind my rear end here, hiding it from the HOA, is a pretty beefy rear end. Found a good deal on this one on Facebook. This is the 1-ton axle, 14 bolt for a GMC, or Chevy, GMC, whatever. With any luck, that thing's gonna bolt right into this to replace the old half-ton axle. And I think that is gonna do a lot for putting the suspension into this truck that I want, for pulling trailers long distance, for pulling things like the Corvette, because that car is definitely a lead sled. Somebody getting on it out there. So that's going to be another project in of itself. My good buddy Joe has offered to help me out, because I don't know anything about rear ends or changing out rear gears. I could probably get the rust off of it okay, but that's about it. So he'll help me get that thing rebuilt, and maybe we'll make a video just covering that. I don't know. I kind of like the stance of this truck, but I'm back and forth between. It's not going to go up. I'm not a big four-wheeling guy. I don't like that look. But should I keep it where it is? Should I put some bags on it? Should I notch it so it can drop down? What do you guys think? What would be best for towing right now? I'm not the kind of guy who likes his bumper dragging on the ground. You know, maybe if I had an old Impala, but not on this. So, we'll see. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I'll try to get the next video out before too awful long, where we actually start looking at some of these things one at a time on here. Alright, I appreciate you. Thank you. Bye.